Hey guys, welcome back to our podcast, Gamers That Yap. We're back at it again with episode two. I'm one of your hosts, Ariana. I go by any pronouns.
I'm your other host, Brittany, and I go by she, her.
And for this episode, like we said from the first one, it was kind of like gonna be a two-parter. For this episode, we're gonna focus on dating sims in general. We really talked about older Otome games, which kind of falls under like a specific category of dating sims. But this time we're gonna branch out, kind of talk about how far the genre has come from their roots that we talked about in the first episode. And for this episode too, we're also just gonna start off by focusing on one in particular, a dating sim that I know that both Brittany and I adore, absolutely love. I am on I don't even know like what number playthrough I'm on that I started like a month ago.
You
It
still
is
need to play
called
the other route.
Okay, we don't have to talk about that. Cove is my one and only.
Okay, okay, whatever.
but it's called Our Life. I think there was like a subtitle to that. I kind of forgot it. I always just call it Our Life by GB Patch.
Our life, crap. I thought I was gonna hit
You
that
thought
for
he was
real.
gonna do something, huh?
Yeah, I really did. It's our life beginning and oh, so, it's something like that. Trust me, y'all. I'm
Something
a
like
fan.
that.
I have it tattooed on my chest, y'all. I promise.
I gave the tattoo actually. GB Patch, we love you. I'm sorry that I didn't get your little subtitle in there. I should have looked it up before we started recording, but that's okay.
All right.
Um, but yeah, basically, do you want to give like a little summary, a little synopsis, if you will, of the game, Brittany?
Or so basically, our life, subtitle I forgot for a second because I can't see the tattoo on my chest. But basically, it is very much friends to lovers, a dating sim where basically, you move to like a small town and actually wait, did the MC move to the town or not? I don't remember. Or she
No,
already
no,
lived there.
she always lived there,
Yes, yes, she always lived there. You're right about that. So then,
or they lived there.
oh yeah,
You get to
they.
choose.
Yes, you do get to choose. Oopsies, oopsie me. But basically, you kind of live there, and then you have like this new kid who moves into the block and things like that. He's just kind of like awkward and stuff like that. And you can basically romance this guy if you want to, where it starts off where they're like, I think they're 10 years old in the first part of the game, right? Was it younger?
Yes, around there.
Yeah,
Maybe maybe a little, I want to say like in my mind, I don't know if I made this number up. I want to say 8 years old, but I
yeah,
could be lying.
because I feel like they're younger. I think because I've also been following the development of their second game. I think the MC in there is 10 years old, and I think the MC in the first game runs a little bit younger in the beginning. So that's definitely probably it anyways. But it's a super cute game where you have like all of like these little moments of like growing up and things such as that, such as like when you're a kid, you have like the whole thing of like thinking like there's a monster outside, little cutesy kid moments. And it really makes you nostalgic, especially if you're like someone who like grew up in like what, like the 90s, early 2000s or something like that. It
Hmm.
makes you really nostalgic for that time. So if you're like, I don't know, a baby or something like that, I'm sorry, you're not gonna get it. But
You're just not gonna get it, man. It's very much like if you've ever wanted to be a protagonist in a coming of age movie, like this is the game for you. Like that's
yes.
also GB Patch, I got you the little subtitle. It's Our Life beginnings and all. I googled it.
Yeah, I just looked at it on my chest like, wow. I always get it mixed up because my brain tries to think of the subtitle for the second game. So then keep thinking of like, I don't even think I know the subtitle for that one, and I'm trying to say that had me like confused. I'm sorry. Now and forever.
Um, oh yeah, I think it is. I
Oh, okay.
maybe I don't know. I've been kind of like if you get obviously like as you guys could tell by now there is like a sequel kind not necessarily a sequel, but the developer is making another game that plays kind of like this one, pretty much like this one. Um but
I
yeah.
would, ooh, sorry. I
No,
would,
you're good.
I would say the main difference with the second one is like the first one, it's more so very summer themed. Every single moment that you play, it's going to be based in the summertime where, it's like they're on vacation, they're doing stuff, and then you see all of those like pinnacle moments in like, the little summer times of their lives. But
But it was
for,
summer in the first one too.
yeah, I'm talking about the first one, right?
Oh, okay. I thought you said that the second one was like that, and I was like, girl, like, what's the difference then?
No, no. The second one, it's stated more like in the fall. So I think like every single moment is like during like the fall time.
Oh,
To
that's
be
fun.
Yeah, and also to be honest, it's not even like fall break because from what I've played, you actually do have moments like where the kids are like in school and such like that. So it's not just like vacation type stuff.
I kind of love that. Yeah, I've been staying like mostly blind for the second one because I know as soon as I see something, I'm just gonna want to play the entire game, and I'm gonna be very upset that it's not released yet. So I've just kind of just like been like staying away from it like the plague until like the full thing gets released. I've been like keeping myself active with doing multiple playthroughs of the first one. Um, but yeah, so as Brittany was describing earlier, it kind of follows like your childhood and then also your adolescence, and it's based off of the relationship between you and your childhood friend whose name is Cove. And there's some other characters such as your two moms, the MC's two moms, your
Um,
sister,
love
um
her.
and also Cove's family as well. And also there's a few other characters that you get to see throughout the journey of your life. But the game is broken up into what they call steps. So like I said, it's your childhood and then your adolescence, your kind of like teenage years, and then the epilogue portion is kind of like when you're a young adult. And within those steps there are moments, so like, just little scenarios of it could be kind of like anything. Like, there's a scenario of like one year you guys were at like this barbecue, and then there's another scenario where you're just at the country club that your moms are members of. Stuff like that. But it's I have to say, like, for me at least, like it's definitely one of like my favorite games of all time, I would say.
Oh yeah, for sure. The thing is, it's like I've played so many like dating sims in my life, but that one, dang, that hit me in a way no other dating sim did.
No, yeah, like the writing is just amazing. And of course, like it has a significant amount of like replay value. Because like, like you could choose there's a lot of choice in the game, which we'll go into detail more of that later. But like, you could choose to kind of like be like, like a little stuck up, outgoing kid, and then who's suddenly shy in their adolescence, or you could kind of do like the opposite of that. Like, there you have a lot of stake over the narrative in this game, which, oh my god, GB Patch, like, tell me how you write that much because there's
How do
has to
you
be
write
so
like you're
much
running out of
writing.
time? Like
No, like literally, like there's just so many paths that you can take in this game. Like it's insane.
yeah, like I like even as I look into the game and things like that, I'm hearing people get like scenarios or like little moments in the game that like I've never even seen before. Like I'm sitting here like, how did y'all do
Hmm.
that? Like, what are you talking about that? What do you talk like what do you mean that like if you don't confess, he'll literally confess to you in his underwear? Like what are y'all talking about to me? Like what are you telling me
No,
right
yeah.
now?
I didn't even know that I mean obviously spoilers, like don't listen to this if you if you like go play the game right now, like if you don't want spoilers.
Oh yeah,
But
don't
um
get out.
no, like literally. Um but up until like recently, I didn't even know that like, and by recently I mean like maybe half a year ago, I didn't even know there was different proposals. I thought he always proposed to you with the hangman thing, because I always get the hangman proposal. I just the other my last playthrough I got the firefly one, and this one I'm on my way to getting the $20 bill one. But I didn't even know for like the longest time.
When you say proposal, you mean like when they start dating or like in the
No,
final?
the proposal.
Oh wow. Dang.
He can propose to you with a firefly, or he could propose to you with um the hangman thing, or he could propose to you with half of the $20 bill, because if you choose to tell him about the $20 bill in the first one, there's an option that where Cliff like rips it in half and gives both of you one half.
Oh.
Yeah, and I thought that was really cute, and I didn't even know that existed, because I always just like, I don't know, I was always too scared to tell him when we were like children.
Yeah, I never told him. I always waited until like they were like teenagers, and then he would be like, "LOL, dad, you're so stupid." And then his dad would be like throwing up and crying.
No, but yeah, so the thing about this game, so like I said earlier, like, you have, as the player, you have a lot of control over the narrative. You choose kind of almost like completely what you look like, your skin color, your eye color, if you wear pants, if you wear dresses, like if you, what type of accessories you wear, if you have any scars. And then as you're playing the game, there is a lot of dialogue choices that you can make, that can kind of like help you shape your character's personality. And the thing is like the game definitely remembers the choices that you make from each step. So like if in your childhood, um let's say, I can't think of a specific example right now, but like, let's say you told Cove, your childhood friend, your favorite color is purple. He will remember that your favorite color is purple when you guys are teenagers. Like, it remembers like the choices that you make, which just makes it
Uh,
that much more like realistic, and like just has the player more invested.
Another example too is like I remember that I told like Cove that like my MC was like what, like lactose intolerant. That man remembered. He's like, well, she can't be eating ice cream, y'all. And or like, very early on, like I picked that I wanted a lemonade, and later on he buys like a little lemonade from like a farmer's market for the MC and things like that. I thought that was very cute. I would have also fallen in love, so because I love me a
you
lemonade.
you kind of just blew my mind, because I didn't even notice that's based off of the drink you picked for a second.
Oh,
Because okay, obviously, like I played the game like a million times, and I've done that same scenario, and he's always bought me a cola because I like colas,
from
and
the
so
farmer's market.
I didn't even think anything of it, because I always choose cola, so I didn't even think that was like a thing.
No, like he like based on the drink that you like, he'll do it. Cause like for me, I be loving myself a lemonade, and then he buys her like that little like nice little lemonade thing from the farmer's market type thing, and I'm like I noticed it immediately because I don't know, I feel like lemonade is not something that they would pick specifically, so I'm like he picked it because I like it. Oh my gosh, like
No, that's so cute. Like, wait, I really didn't even realize that. Oh my God. You see, like,
yeah,
I'm always discovering new things.
exactly.
But yeah, I just like, you know, the writing is just like, never mind the fact that there's probably, I don't know, like, how many words in this game. Like, you probably worked like, wrote like a trillion at this point. Um, but it's just also that it's just good writing in general too, because I definitely felt like I was growing up, like, like as Brittany mentioned earlier, the nostalgia effect, because also, there's moments where you're figuring out, or you can have the MC also figure out, like, their gender, their sexuality, and like, it's not like a one time thing. It's like, as you're growing up, like, there's some moments where they take a second to like look at themselves in the mirror and, you know, like look at their body, just got decide like whether or not they're self-conscious about it, or like
Yeah, I love
their
those
attraction
moments.
towards other. Yeah, like it's like very much realistic for how the like it again, like coming of age movie, like it's just amazing. Like I don't even have words, like I just really enjoyed the game that much.
Yeah, like definitely. Like also like even little parts I was like I'd see like little things that happen in the game or something. I'm like, "Dang, I wish my life was like that." Like it's
No, for sure. Because again, like, obviously it's one of those dating sims where it has more of, I mean, I don't know the actual term for it, but I call it more of like a blank slate MC almost, where it's almost like fully customizable, and you can definitely like self-insert um based off of like what you want to do. But like, there's obviously some stuff like you can't control in the game. Like you can't you like at that point make your own game. Um but but it's just like, like the fact that they like live right next to the beach, and like you have like this cool like childhood friend and all that. Like, dang, I wish like that was me. Like
yeah, like y'all got money, like no struggle. Like I love this game. I'll get to imagine life being happy. Like, wow, like you live in this big, nice behind house and things like that. All this stuff going on in this town. It's a nice little town. You have like a good school and things like that. Like, dang, okay.
no, like your moms are literally members of a country club. Like, come on
Yeah,
now.
like
That's
that's
some rich people shit. Like
yeah. Like out here with like my family from Haiti and things like that, country club, like you all are rich. Like help. Like help. But yeah, for sure, like just man, this game.
this game, GB Patch, like you've outdone yourself.
Yeah, like you've made something truly special and put it out in the world. Like
um, but I think it'd be fun to just also just talk about kind of like our favorite moments or like scenarios, um, in the game, because there's a lot. There's like, I think, well, we have the DLC. We have the DLCs. So, I think normally, isn't it like 5 moments per chapter, and then the DLCs kind of extend that to 10, I want to say.
um to be perfectly honest, if you ask me, but you don't have the full game unless you have like those DLCs. Like in a
I
way, I
agree.
think of it as DLC in quotes because like this game, it is so expansive and things like that. But all of those additional content that you add and things like that, I'm pretty sure the game is only free just so it's more accessible to more players, which I think is a very,
Hmm.
it's a very like very like what's the word I'm looking for? It's a very nice thing, I guess, because so many people get to experience our life. You know, like I know
Yes.
just because it's free, so many people are able to do it. And you know, most of the time people like it, they will buy the DLCs because they want to see like the extra part. And also it does add more to the moments that are already in the game as well if
Hmm.
you buy them.
Like it for sure. It's all still connected. Like it's a very very cohesive game, I think is a good way to put it.
Because like when I say DLCs, most of the time we think of it as like just additional content. But to be perfectly honest, I see the Our Life DLCs as like getting the full experience of the game
Yeah, yeah.
because
Like
they
if you like the content that's available with like the free version of the game, that's more like a demo. Like the you for
Mhm.
for like the DLCs are worth it. Like let's just say that.
Yeah, like genuinely like I don't even see Our Life as a free game anymore. Like it is Our Life, and then I will be paying for it. So, so
I
like
will
yeah,
be paid for anything that GB Patch puts in front of me.
exactly. Like it is such a great game. Like I say, like everyone, like if anything, support GB Patch. You know, go on like that Patreon. Y'all also like trust me, they got some extra content in that Patreon. I'm telling you.
hmm
You
Um,
you will like it. I promise.
but starting off with like some of our if you already still need to be like more convinced to play the game. Some of my favorite moments. One of my favorite moments from the game actually is I like a lot of the teenage years ones. Not that I dislike the other ones, obviously, but like I just really enjoy the ones that uh are in the I think technically it's step three. Yeah, it's step three. Um, one of them, I forget the name of the moment, but it's when Cove and the MC are hanging out, and I think this is the same one where they eventually find like a photo album. And the thing about Cove is when you first meet him, he has a pink cast on his arm, um, from a incident that was at the place he lived in before he moved over to the town called Sunset Bird. And he reveals to the MC about how he actually got that scar. It was from like a incident with a jet ski, and it was like a little accident. And he decided that, for himself to like kind of get over that, like he was like, you know what, like, oh, I'm an adult now, like I'm gonna go jet skiing, and like, like maybe it'll be a good experience for me to like overwrite that. And he realizes while they're about to like go jet skiing that he actually remembers that that was kind of like that accident was kind of like almost like a breaking point in his parents' marriage. And he decides to ask his dad why he and his mother got divorced in the first place. And the reason for that being it was just kind of like a very like mature parting for the two parents. Like they just realized, like, they really love their son, and at first they kind of wanted to be together for their son, but they just weren't compatible. And I think like the game just does a really good job at kind of like handling that subject matter, because like it doesn't always have to be like a nasty fight and like they necessarily hate each other. It's just that they took a step back and they just realized they weren't compatible. Like they got together when they were very young, and the mother ended up pregnant, and so they decided to be together. But yeah, I just really appreciated that moment in the game, and also just being there for Cove, because he had always like this feeling in the back of his head that like he kind of caused the rift between the his parents. But no, it was just like he was just like more so made them realize that they really just weren't meant to be together.
Yeah, like honestly, I also thought that was so well written too because like lots of kids and things like that, they'll sit there wonder like did y'all split cuz of me? But like no, like sometimes like most of the time it's just because, mommy and daddy got a life too. They be they be they got like their issues and junk like that and it's like it's not going to be you. It's because they got issues with each other, you know? Like
And sometimes kids, are they're not at fault for that. They're just more of a catalyst in those two adults realizing that, maybe they should not be together, cuz like, being a parent, like that makes you that shows like a whole new side of you,
oh
especially when you
yeah.
have to raise a child, a human being with another person. You find out a lot about each other.
Yeah.
Um
And
so
then
yeah.
Yeah, and also like to piggyback off of like your favorite moment because it's just really it really reminds me like Cole's parents too. They're also two very well written parents. Like both of them themselves, they're not bad people at all. Like they both love him
Hmm.
very much, but of course their lives are like going in different directions and things like that. But the biggest thing about both of them is that they are always there for their son for real, and you see that so much in the storyline with like the way that you interact with like both of his parents as well because they're both very present in like throughout the storyline as well, which I find it very beautiful and things such as that. And how, you know, if you do kind of go down that romance route as well, it's very much they become like they a part of the family.
For sure. Like bro, as soon as I like met Cove's mom, I was like, I need to be this lady's friend. Like, this is my
Yeah,
best friend.
exactly. Um, I also remember with like I think at that part of the game when they meet Hove's mom, it's like they're like what, like 13 or something like that.
Yeah, it was in step two.
Yeah, so like very much with that, Cove is like, don't talk to her, don't look at her, please, I promise you. And then I immediately ignored that. We immediately sit it down, gossiping, talking. It was lots of fun with that. Like she's such like a very like fun loving character.
And I also because also for those who haven't played the game, so Cove's dad had complete custody over Cove, and so they lived together, but Cove's mother lived in Nevada. It was Nevada, right? Because she was like a traveling writer.
Yeah.
Um, and I remember there was a moment during that summer in step two, where the MC gets to meet her for the first time. She ended up staying a summer in Sunset Bird, and I think it was the moment or the scenario where she takes them out on a drive. She was just kind
Oh,
of saying like, like I really want to like spend time with you, Cove, cuz sometimes I feel more like a cool aunt than a mom
I was
because
just
like
thinking
she
about that.
doesn't, yeah, like cuz she doesn't live with him, and I was just like, that's crazy, like my heart.
Yeah, like she thought like, "Oh, I'm just fun to be around," but like maybe like Cove doesn't see me as like a mom, and I'm like, "Oh, that's so sad." Like, dang.
Mhm.
Like they definitely made all of these characters have like so much weight to them. They have their own problems that you can see and things like that. But of course,
Mhm.
you're seeing it through the eyes of a child and things like that a little bit. But like, it as like the reader and things like that, it really does like strike a chord.
Mhm. Well, I'm gonna
Man,
bounce it back to you. What was one of your favorite moments?
let's see. I think of like the of step 2 as well, back when the MC was 13 or so. And this was so for me, the way that I was playing with it, I wanted to prolong them being friends for the longest time. I didn't want to jump straight into the romance. So,
Mhm.
but I had it to where by step 2, they started developing a bit of a crush on each other because every step you can kind of pick like the base of what your dynamic is. Like you can be indifferent, which I'm too scared to play that because I feel like
I'd
um
be sad.
yeah, like it's like, well, it's that green-haired kid across the street. Like I don't want to do that, but like so basically I was just playing as like their friends, and then they kind of have like a crush on each other. But I had my MC, like she was not gonna say jack about that. Like she's just like whatever. Like, we be hanging out, we be doing our thing. And then they had like that little camping trip thing type of thing because I believe that
Mhm.
Cove's like mom and dad basically said like, "Hey, let's go to like a national park and we're gonna buddy up with like the MC's moms, and then we're gonna go on this little trip, and it'll be like we get the kids, we do our thing, all that fun stuff." And there was like a little moment where I think like they kind of have like their little camper, and then they're all gonna go to sleep and things like that. They had their little sleeping arrangements. And that I believe the MC had like a little sleeping area like on top a little bit, like on the do you call that? Like, I don't know, a bunk? What?
It was like a loft,
Yeah,
right?
the loft, in the loft, right? And then I believe that like Cove, he was gonna sleep elsewhere, but then you have like the MC was like, "Hey Cove, come over here for a second," and he goes up there, and they're talking, they're doing whatever, and then you have like a little moment where you can tell the MC to be like, "Cove, just stay up here," like, and then he's just kind of like, "Hello," like, he's like, "I don't think I should do that because like I need to sleep down there." And the MC's like, "Well, it's more comfy up here, so like just sleep up here." And then if they have a crush on each other, it's like the silliest thing because they both can have like their own little conversations and stuff like that about like little random stuff. And they can basically talk about like, "Oh, what's your type in people?" And it's like so on the nose, but like that's what kids do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's like so on the nose, and then they both are like all being like nervous and stuff. And I think it's so cute and things like that. And then I believe how I played it is that they had like that little moment, and then Hope ended up falling asleep up there, and I believe Hope got in trouble the next morning. because
He was with his mom. He was sitting on the couch with his mom, and he was just holding his head down in shame because he caught him up there.
it's like he slept there all night, like he got in trouble. And I thought that was so cute because it feels so on the nose, like the way the conversations are. And for me, the way that I was playing with it and stuff like that, they were mainly talking. I think there was an option to kiss, but I decided to hold out. They weren't gonna do that, and they were
Mm-hmm.
just sort of like just being like, oh my gosh, like if you like someone, what would they look like? And I thought that was very cute.
Which is very middle school. Wasn't that also the moment where the
Yeah.
anklet bit started? That's my
Mm-hmm.
favorite bit in the whole entire game, guys.
Yes, that is.
Basically, they had a they had a conversation, which again, I think this is kind of unlocked if you're either like fond of him or have a crush on him, or you choose to feel that way towards him, um where the MC's like, yeah, so like what are you into with a person? Like what do you find like cute or like hot? And he like after like some probing, he's finally like, oh, like I kind of think it's hot like when people wear anklets. From that moment on in the game, you could just choose to wear an anklet at like significant events and he will always notice. It's so funny.
Yes. It is the most hilarious thing. You can, after he says it, you can literally have like this little option you can pick where it's more so of like what does the MC kind of think in their head. It's like, wow, when I get home I'm about to buy myself like a whole bunch of anklets. Like it's so hilarious.
Like you can literally like wear it like at your wedding, like if you choose to marry him, like that is an option and it's
Yeah,
so funny.
you just wear it anywhere type of thing. And then um I kind of have 2 moments though that I really, really like, but it
Yeah,
is it is the confession in, the little step 3, I believe.
the charity event one, that one was really
Yeah.
cute.
Yeah, I really love the charity event because, like I said, I was holding out. For me, I was gonna wait for the last second for them to basically confess to each other. That was my plan. Because like in the first step, there weren't any crushes at all. Second step, there was kind of something there, but like my MC, she wasn't gonna do jack about it. She's like, whatever. It is what it is. And then step three, I was strong. I was like I was standing my ground. I am woman. I am like stuff like that. But I go ahead and we have like this little step. It's like a charity event type stuff. And it's like a fun little day. You're doing something, because he loves the ocean. He's probably born from there because look at him. But
The way he be talking, like
yeah, exactly. Like that's his home. So then, he's trying he's working on like this charity event that has to do with like, beaches and things such as that. And it ends and then they go home, they're dressed all nice, they had like a really nice time like doing something together. And then I think like it was just very they're being very appreciative of each other, talking about like, I'm glad that you came with me and things like that. I'm glad that you're both that you're also here and things like that. And they go home type of thing. And then the thing is, the big thing is like behind the MC and Cove's house, there's like a little field where lots of things like fireflies and all these flowers are at and things like that. So MC, she goes to her room, or mine in particular because mine uses she her pronouns, and
Hmm.
and they're doing their thing, and then getting ready for bed, and then you hear like a knock at your window, and it's like, oh my god. Then this is what killed me. I lost all conviction. Like I lost everything in this moment. He opens his little palms and he's like, "Oh my god, the fireflies came out." And then and then in that moment, you could literally have the MC just be like, "Okay, well, I'm in love with him, so I'm just gonna kiss him right now, and we're going to confess and all that." I was like, "Let's just do that mess," because I can't, I would never, I could not hold back no more. I was like, forget my plan, forget me holding out to the last moment. This is it. So.
The timing was right.
Yeah, and that was done so well because I lost everything. I like the way that it pulled me in. That's another thing with the writing. Like, wow. Like, usually I'm very dead set. I never had that moment when I was playing No Dating Sim where I couldn't even hold by my plan no more.
No, yeah, that moment was extremely sweet. Like it was just so like cute. Oh my god. I really like that moment as well. Because like, the whole night it was just like them just like having like a good time together. And the fact that like I mean it was it's a thing in the game too, like if you choose it to be like where he just kind of like I don't know what's wrong with this man. He just be like at your window knocking and like asking to like in the middle of the night. He would do that a lot like throughout like your childhood and adolescence. So in
Yeah,
that moment,
but
like, it was like a
my
regular night.
but also mind I say he only does that if you allow him to keep doing it. So,
Yes, yes,
yeah.
yes. He's very much all for consent. Um but I always let him because like I mean it's Cove. Like
Yeah.
when y'all play it, y'all will get it.
Mhm.
But um so like it's like a regular Tuesday night, he's knocking at the window again. This boy really comes in still dressed up in his fancy clothes just to show you a firefly. Like, come on now.
Exactly. Like he didn't even get changed or nothing yet. Like you're telling me that he got there and immediately ran to the MC's house? Like, are you kidding me?
Like
Oh,
that's crazy.
yeah, like genuinely it was just so good. And also I always let him climb the window too cuz I feel like with the way that I was playing as well, it's like they just always got to be together all the time. So like I feel like my MC would never tell him stop climbing my window like.
No, for real. Also after because I've only ever played this moment actually. Uh the moment, I think it's called like late shift or something. Yeah, it's late shift. Um, I've only played that moment when Cove and the MC are already dating, but it just felt like very domestic. I'll have to give it a play when they aren't like dating, but when you are dating, it's just very like, both of you like get off of work and he's like, "Oh, hey, like I'll come pick you up." And then when he goes to pick you up, you realize like you have to like pick up like something at the grocery store. And he's like, "Oh, I'll go with you." And you guys are just like doing grocery store shopping together. And then you like grab something to eat after. And I think that was the first in my first playthrough I did. I also did the confession at the fundraiser because I thought it was really cute. And I think that was the first moment that I played after both of them started dating, and I it just showed like how attentive he is. As a partner, like never mind also as a partner, but like even just as a friend, he's always been very attentive. But like that dynamic, it slightly changes once they got involved romantically. And I just thought it was just really sweet because it was just like yeah, like that's my best friend, but now that's also my like that's my man. Like that was
Yeah,
crazy.
that's my boo. Like,
Like
to be honest, I think I did the late shift before they started dating. But the thing is, I can't remember too much about the differences between it because I do remember that I ended up doing the charity event closer to when I was almost done with the step. So I
yeah,
definitely.
I think like while like if you do it like while you guys are dating, um I mean, like, like there's a little bit more. I mean, for me too, because you can also pick your comfortability with like physical affection in the game. So if you want Cove or like your partner to like initiate like physical contact, or if you only want him to do it like when you ask, or you are the only one who wants to be like, you can pick that. I always pick like a middle, and I think my last playthrough I did like a high sort of initiative. But he's just a little bit more like affectionate, I guess, if you play it like while you guys are dating. And I can't remember exactly, but I think he might say something about it just being nice to be able to like do those things with you.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, so it
Aw.
was just adorable.
I have to do like another playthrough and things like that. Meanwhile, you definitely have to play through more of the game that you have not experienced yet.
All
Um,
right. So, y'all, even though Cove is the main guy, there are again, there's like a few people that you do meet during like your during your life, I guess. And there's two other guys you can actually romance. Obviously, it's not as like fleshed out as Cove's because Cove is the main guy. But there's one named Derek who you meet during your adolescence because his family is like business partners with like Cove's dad. And there's a second one you meet during your teenage years. His name is Baxter. Sunset Bird is kind of more of like a touristy town. So he was like a tourist for that summer. So I'm obsessed with Cove, and the thing is, I was like, okay, maybe I should be completionist and I should do everything. And I started with Baxter's first because personally, GB Patch, you be cooking. I just wasn't a fan of Baxter. So, like, that's just me. Like, again, like, sorry for the Baxter's fans out there. Sorry, just wasn't my type, really. And so I did Baxter's first because I knew I wasn't gonna, like, necessarily like it that much because I didn't really, like, care for him. Um, yeah, man. I fully did Baxter's with the intention of doing Derek's, and I just didn't do Derek's afterwards, and Brittany's
yeah.
mad at me
No,
about it.
because the thing is, you don't even like him like that. But you played his route and you did not go into Derek's. That is so crazy to me. Because, like,
I fully played Baxter's route with the intention of doing Derek's. I forgot what happened to the point where I didn't do Derek's. Maybe it was because I dissociated during Baxter's route. But I don't know. And then the next time I picked up the game, instead of doing Derek's route, I just did Combs
yeah, you're sick. Like, what?
again. I just love Cove.
'Cause I don't know. To me, my favorite of like the optional romance routes, it's Derek out of the two. But also like Derek, he's kind of been there since the beginning because he's actually part of like the little friend group of like when you do things with like Cove and stuff like that. And the thing is, it's kind of implied that like Derek has had a crush on you since you were kids as well, but you know he just kind of didn't do anything about it. And also like if you romance Cove and things like that, he does get over it and all that, you know, he's chill. So it's kind of like dang. um Derek's like a really great, also he's like a very such a sweet character. I enjoyed his route like a ton.
Derek's a very nice guy.
Yeah.
I'll
Um,
say that.
how would you know? Let me
Because I grew up with him.
how would you
Come
know?
on. I was like, hey, hey, hey. But I will have to say though, like, Derek's a nice guy, but he's too nice because that one time he held me
No.
back from he no, because he held me back from punching Jeremy in the face that one
Oh
time.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, he should have just let it happen. But
Well, the thing is that you can actually do it if you do it at the party, but you can't do it for sure like when you first meet him, which is upsetting
yeah.
because there's less witnesses.
Oh, because like
Um
but like, you know, Derek's he's a sweetheart for sure. But can we low key go back to Cove a little bit cuz I got to talk about that. I think one of the biggest things about Cove's thing is like once you get to the end, there is a wedding DLC, and I feel like wow, wow. I never got to play a wedding before like that.
that okay, no, no, no. This isn't an insult on anything. In fact, it's the wedding DLC was amazing, but that Loki just made me not.
Yeah,
I was
I
so stressed planning it. Like I was so stressed.
I am not going to lie. The very first time I played the wedding DLC, I got a headache. I had to pop an ibuprofen before I started playing again. I popped an ibuprofen, I laid down, and I got back up and went back to play because I was so stressed with the choices, the colors, the venue. Oh my God. Like, I was like, ugh, popped like
That
800,
was
800
right, and that
milligrams.
was because like thing is, it's not even because like it was like badly written or something. No, like it was just so like detail oriented and it was like realistic that it
Y-
just made and I really wanted it to be a really good wedding that reflected me and Ko's relationship. But like I was just so stressed, man. Like I don't care what flavor the cake is anymore. Like I just want to get married.
Real. Like, they're like, what flavor of the cake? I don't care. Like, let me. I just want to have the wedding so I can leave. Oh my God.
Please, I just want to get married to my man. I just want to put on like a little dress. Like,
Why do I have to plan it?
no, yeah, I was just so stressed because of it. Like, like, for real, like, because of this game, now that I know what actually goes into planning a wedding, like, for sure, like, man, like, I'm just gonna have the recept. Like, we're just gonna party, man. Like, we don't need to do
Yeah, like, you know what? We probably save money too. Like, you know, like,
no, for real. Like it stressed me out bad. I was like, there's no way. But the wedding itself was actually very, very nice. I planned a good one, if I do say so myself. And the
yeah.
vows almost made me cry.
Yeah, they were so like well written. It was very cute. Like, oh my gosh, like all the little stuff they could do that's like specifically about like your character and things like that. I think that's so it was so sweet. Like, I was crying in the club. Like,
No,
dang.
yeah, it was really cute. Like Co's almost made me cry, and like you get to pick your own. Like there's like a bunch of choices that it gives you, and again, like it's from like stuff that you've done throughout your life because the game remembers. And it was just so sweet, so amazing. And also
Yeah.
the little speeches. Oh my God, that shit made me
Oh
cry.
my
Because
gosh.
I had my family and friends give speeches. I think I did like an open mic.
Oh my gosh. Oh wait, when you played, how did you who was your person of honor?
Oh, I every single time I played, I never had a bridal party because I don't believe in bridal parties.
Sister for mine. And then Derek.
That's sweet.
Yeah, I love Derek over there. If he had for mine, he helped with the MC's hair. I thought it was so cute.
So cute. So maybe I
Yeah.
should, maybe for this playthrough I'll have a party because I usually don't because I was just like I don't care to. I just love everyone equally.
It's real, cause like, it was hard for me to pick 2 because, like, I like everybody but I just thought it felt right to pick the sister and things like that. It was very cute. She was so touched by it.
hmm And also like Cliff, who is Cove's dad, his speech made me sad. I almost cried and I called him dad after.
Then he cried.
I actually really love Cliff. Can I say that?
Yeah,
And not in the horny way like a lot of the fans are. I just love Cliff.
kinda like him in that way, but
Oh, I did not know that about you. Whoa, wait, I did not know that about you.
no, cause like, he's a good man, Savannah. He's a good man.
He's a
Like,
good man, but like I was just like, hey, like that's Cliff, my buddy old pal. Like I never lusted after him.
or I guess also Cove's mom too, so
Okay, I've lusted after Cove's mom. Not over Cliff.
Oh wait, that was kind of more of like conversations we've had with our friend, um outside friends. So yeah, that was I do remember those conversations. I was never as deep, but like I understood the vision. I did.
Um, but actually going back to like the proposal, since we talked about the wedding, what what proposals did you usually get then? Because you also didn't know that there was different ones.
Like I'm trying to think because I don't even remember it too well, but like I remember the proposal. It was more so of like I'm pretty sure he brought me back to the little. Uh, how did he do that, miss? Like I'm thinking, like,
Because I think if you let him do it, because I usually don't propose to him,
yeah, I
but
don't either.
if you let him do it, he takes you to the hill with the poppies on it.
Hmm.
But the thing he gives you is different based off of how you've played.
I don't remember. That's the worst thing. Is like, uh, how he, how it is. I don't crap. Cause like,
Because I would get my very first one was the Hangman one, and then I would get it a lot because I always play Hangman with him, and I think maybe part of the criteria for getting the Hangman one is that you have to be sick on the boat moment um because he breaks out Hangman at that moment again to be like, oh, like it's okay because like for those who haven't played, there's a moment where you have a rich cousin, by the way, she's great, and she takes you out on a yacht in one of the moments, and you could choose to get seasick. If and I usually get seasick sometimes, so you can just like sit in the room and like you go to lay down and I had my MC feeling bad, bro. I was like, oh my God, I just ruined this whole trip. I'm about to cry. And then Cove comes in to check on you. And he's like, hey, let's play Hangman. And this is something that he's done in like a previous moment before where he was just bored and he just decided to play Hangman with you. And he the puzzle is it's okay, and then like my MC just started bawling crying after like she saw that and she gave him a hug. But if you again like if you've played Hangman with him throughout the various moments of the game, he can eventually propose to you with a game of Hangman, and that's how I always got the proposal.
like, uh, I really don't remember how did he propose, but I feel like it wasn't Hangman. It
Maybe it was the Firefly.
Yeah, I'm thinking fireflies because I just remember firefly imagery so much. The thing is, I did have my MC be sick on the boat. All I ruined the whole time, all of the whole thing. So I don't don't know what happened to me.
Yeah.
I'll replay it, so it don't matter. I'll replay it.
One one other thing I do want to mention though, guys, if you pay for the DLC too, you could get some NSFW deals.
The
Man, let
Patreon.
me not, yo, like, let me not, man, those DLCs were fire. Like, I'll just say that they were fire. And I actually really, really appreciate the first one because, the first, 18 plus, DLC that you can get is like the first time that you and, Cove decide to be intimate. And Cove, he's actually, he's demisexual. And so, like, he through you could see it throughout like the years and stuff like that. Like sometimes he also just like feels awkward when it comes to like romance and like sexual things and all of that. um but the moment with the first time DLC was just very sweet, and it's like when you guys are like just like 18, and you're trying to like discover things,
It like
and
it,
it played so like realistically,
mhm.
and I just really really like appreciated it.
Like dang, it was so like my heart was warm for them actually. And also I think it's actually kind of like a gap between like step 3 and step 4. I think that they're a little bit older than like freshly
Yeah,
18.
probably
Yeah.
probably like 1918 or 1920,
Mhm.
um
Cuz I do
because it's
know.
sometime.
Yeah, they said it's like kind of like in the gap between the two of them type of thing, they're just
Yeah,
doing their things.
because I know for step 3 you guys are 18,
Mhm.
and then so sometime after that basically is when it happens. Like it's kind of up to like your imagination at that point. um but yeah, and then in the second one, the second NSFW one is like actually the wedding night one, and it's actually kind of like cool to see him, how he's just gotten so much more used to like intimacy, like if you play that one.
He's a lot more
Because
comfortable
again,
too in the relationship.
yeah, like the again, like this game is extremely cohesive, and like it all like bounces off of each other. So like even like when you do the wedding night DLC, you can like let the game know that you've played the first one, and so like you can like reminisce basically about the first one if you guys have played it. And so yeah, it
Or
was just like really nice.
yeah, or you could like pick an option for that wedding night DLC to technically be their first time too. So,
Mhm.
they're kind of stumbling through it a little bit type of thing, but I still think overall Cove is a lot more comfortable with himself and also with like the MC. So,
Mhm.
but yeah, I think everything is so well written and things such as that. And I'm very interesting to see the direction of the second game, honestly, because I've played a little bit of the demo, but I have not finished the demo because similar, I kind of wanted to wait a little bit.
Mhm.
But I think I might say screw that and still play a little bit more of the demo, honestly, just
Real.
because it's gonna be a while for the full game to come out. I have seen like some things through the grapevine of like the main dev for it, they're kind of feeling out if maybe people wanted to go for an episodic approach of like a certain chapters or moments are released at a time type of thing.
Mhm.
I don't know if they're going to go with that because I saw that people were doing like a survey for it to see if that's what people want or not, but either way I will be playing, so.
No, yeah. Like I will probably wait no matter what for the full game to release just so I can binge it all in one go and you guys won't hear from me
Hmm.
for days. Um but yeah, like GB Patch, we love you. Great game, great game.
I loved it. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank
But
you.
kind of kind of going a little bit away from our life specifically, but like in the first episode we talked a lot about kind of how these how Otome Games specifically would play, and they were like they had a certain like formula to them. Like I think we mentioned it a little bit, but it's kind of like, like you got your stamina up, you go read your chapter with your man, you get like affection points or something,
Yeah, for like a
and
lot of the
maybe,
mobile ones.
yeah, and like
Mhm.
maybe like, like you go on a date, you get them a gift, and like that was it. But like it's actually gone, like dating sims in general just have like kind of like gone a long way from that. I think like a very good example of that is kind of the evolution of kind of like the player character, or like the MC that we usually call it. Cause like I mentioned earlier in this episode, that in our life it's kind of more like a, almost like a blank slate MC, where you could just almost like self-insert completely, and you could just like make most of your own choices. And there are other games that are like that, might be a little bit different than our life though, because like, I called it a blank slate MC, but like also in our life, like you can very much distinctly choose your personality based off of the options that you're given. But and I feel like in some other dating sims they might more so, because they don't have the range of options I think that our life had, they might more so like lack a personality. So you kind of just have to make it up in your head, because they want people to like project onto that character, because that's what a lot of people want to do. Because the other end of that is that there are some player characters that have their own personality and they're actually their own character. um and I've had like talk to people who don't necessarily like that because they want to self-insert. But
Yeah.
I kind of like, yeah, for me personally, I kind of like both ends of the spectrum. I just don't like when it's in the middle. Like it's kind of like an all or nothing thing for me. It's either I'm self-inserting completely and I'm making like most of my choices, or I'm actually just playing as this person who has their own history, their own like everything. Like
Yeah.
that's how it is for me.
Mhm. Because like, I also feel a bit similar. Because the thing is, I don't mind if the character is not a self-insert. Even in some cases, I might even prefer if it's not a self-insert, where
Mhm.
I think of it as like I'm just picking how how to play this other character story type of thing. You know, I want to see like what I can make them do type of thing, and I don't mind that. I
Mhm.
still think that's pretty fun. For self-inserts and things like that, I feel like a lot of the time I'm not satisfied sometimes because like they end up doing something that like, dang, I would never say that, miss. Like, but most of the time, I don't mind it, honestly. And also they have some times where like, I still have a lot of fun, where I just focus less on the MC and more of like the other people type of thing.
Mhm.
Mm.
Yeah, I think that's it for me too. Like I just like when they fall short when it comes to like kind of like the fully customizable ones, that's when I get a little upset, because then they just like the MC might do like some stupid crap, and then I'm just like, okay, well now like my immersion is broken because that's not me. Like I would
would
never
ne-
do that.
would never say
But
that.
I can, no, like literally, I would never say that. I would never do that. I would never put myself in the situation. Um, and so like sometimes it falls short for me. I always appreciate a good like customizable in terms of like appearance though. I always love that.
Like, it's just also, like, I'm thinking of, like, some of, like, examples of that. Okay, so I'm not gonna name this game because I actually do like this game. I don't wanna throw any heat at them. I'm not gonna say
Oh
but
no, oh
there was
no.
but I'm not gonna say the name of the game, but I do like it. But there was one game in particular where, it kind of had, like, a customizable MC. It wasn't a dating sim, it was more so just, like, visual novel with like a lot of point and click type stuff. I'd like to say it was a little bit more point and click than ever, but I'm still gonna kind of count it as like a visual novel in a way. And there were certain things that they would say to the MC that I was just like, why are y'all saying this to me? Because I didn't I didn't say that like I thought that way. And y'all are just putting this on me. What are my choices for? Like, what do you do here? I actually like the game. I'm not gonna say the name. I like you guys.
There's that one game you made me, I'm not gonna say the name either. There's that one game I played that had those really hot characters. Brittany, I hope you know which one I'm
But
talking
yeah,
about.
I think you've
The
actually talked to
MC,
me. Yeah.
oh my, because we've talked about this. That MC just pissed me off so much. And I was like, I can't do this anymore. I'm tired of this grandpa because I
Yeah.
wouldn't say these things.
Mhm. I
I would be more
also
smooth with it.
Yeah, I mean, I would also not say those things, but I turned off my brain to it. So still like them, but
No, yeah, like the characters were hot, man, but
hmm
like I just couldn't. I just couldn't.
yeah, for sure, honestly. But also, I was wondering, do you want to like kind of name like some offhand, like dating sims that you feel like are like really great, like modern ones that are doing something really cool?
Yeah, I'll actually start with Love Shore. So Love Shore, you can I, it's one of those dating sims where you can pick you pick between I'm like blanking on their names. I think the guy's name was Sam,
Yeah,
right?
it's Sam and Farah. Like,
And
I
yeah,
introduced you to this one.
yeah. And so I only played as Sam so far. I haven't picked the game back up in a while. But basically you choose to be either Sam or Farah, and the story actually differs depending on which player character you chose. So stuff that are happening in Sam's are kind of different than the stuff that is happening in Farah's, but they still do like intercept like the stories, which is really
Yeah.
really cool. And I really enjoy it just because I won't get too far into the story. I'm more so talking about kind of like the mechanics and the writing of it. But I really enjoyed playing it just because like also it's one of those games where again like the player character has their own personality and established relationships. Like in Sam's, like you can literally choose to romance your ex after finding out some crazy stuff about him.
Yeah.
Um and I just like thought it was cool. And then also for if we're talking about kind of like modern mechanics and dating sims too, I also think it was really cool how um so in Love Shore you kind of get these stats. I think it was like intelligence, like strength,
Yeah,
and there
like
was something else.
it felt very RPG. It's like intelligence,
Yeah.
strength, and I also forgot the last one. I think it has to do with like it's something charisma based. I don't know.
Yeah, but it basically so it kind of replaced like the affinity point system in a way.
He
Um
still had it, to be honest, but I think it was like invisible.
Well, it was more
But
based off of choices. Like, like
yeah,
I'm talking like old school Otome games. Like you had like a bar you were staring at, being like, you need to get this level of affection with this character.
I get what you're trying to say.
Otherwise, like yeah. Like otherwise you won't like pass. Like with these stats, like it kind of just like unlocked different choices for you. Um, but like the whether or not you were doing a good job at romancing the characters was more based on kind of what you were saying a little bit. Another game that kind of does that in a way is also like Monster Prom. I thought that was really cool. Like you
Oh
had
yeah,
like your different stats, kind of like your personality stats. So like necessarily the thing about that game though was that when you picked your different choices, um it can like there wasn't like a necessarily wrong choice. It was just based off of your stats, really. So, like if you pick something that was like a solution that was more like creative, but like your creative levels were like -2, then you would fail. But like if you pick that same option when your creative levels were like 100, like you would have been fine, which I thought was a really cool mechanic. Um,
also
that was just
like
introduced.
Oh, I was also gonna mention also on top of it, Monster Prom, I feel like it's one of like the most innovative things on the market right now because like
Mm-hmm.
it's a multiplayer dating sim, honestly. Like, um, if you try to talk about a multiplayer dating sim with me like 15 years ago, I'd be like, what the heck are you talking about? Like,
How does that even work? Like,
yeah,
what do you?
like, but they make it work and it is so fun. Like, honestly, playing with friends, like, when your friends start jumping at each other and start strangling each other, you know you have a good game. Like, wow. Like,
They're
I
trying to like steal your lover from you.
Mhm. Like, they also have one where it's actually kind of breaking, like, their formula. It's more of, like, a co-op game. It's called Monster Road Trip. Um, I remember playing with that, and I started doing stupid decisions, and we started losing gas. Everyone started yelling at me because 'cause they're like, "Brittany, you're stupid. Why did you do" And I think that that's how you know you because like making little moments like that with like your friends playing it. Like, of course, everyone is yelling at me for wasting the gas because they're like, "Why didn't you pick the other stop instead of this one, Brittany? You wasted our gas. You wasted our food." Like,
No, yeah, the co-op thing is definitely like interesting. Like I think that like especially like in a visual novel, like there's not really like anything like that right now. I feel like that I've played at least, other than Monster Prom.
yeah, like, and also, they have so many different ones, like, Monster Prom, Monster Camp, which kind of introduce a lot more. I'd say if you want like the whole like the best versus type of gameplay when it comes to the Monster Prom games, I think Monster Camp is like the definitive version of it so far. I think that the new game Monster Con will definitely expand upon that. But if you want like a little co-op experience that's like really unique, then Monster Road Trip is the way to go because you're not really up against your friends. You guys have to work together. Like you cannot throw your friends out the car or nothing when they start getting you mad. Like you guys are reaching the same destination. But if you want like the best co-op experience for their games, I think Monster Camp is the definitive like version so far of what they have. I think that's going to change when Monster
Hmm.
Con comes out though, because I feel like they get better with every game.
I also just like, I mean, like the character designs on Monster Prom eats. Like, let me just
Oh
say that to the
yeah,
development team. Like, they are eating. Also, I think they do a really cool thing with picking your player character because they have like you don't get to customize the player character. Like they already like you just pick from like four, like eight, and but they're still in a way kind of like a blank slate because like you're choosing what to do, but yet like when you choose like scenarios and like the little polaroid things that they do, you can kind of see that each character has their own personality. I don't know, I just think it's like really cool and really unique. Like
yeah.
I don't think there's anything really like that game.
And actually, to be honest, a little bit, they did expand on the player characters a little bit in Monster Road Trip. Since I know you haven't really played that one that much, they do
Hmm.
they have like this little thingy where you can kind of have like a rest stop, and sometimes like you pick up hitchhikers or something. You guys can have like little conversations. They do give like little special insight on the characters a little bit as they talk about themselves, and I think that's so nice actually to know a little bit about our player characters that we previously always had as like a blank slate. Like you can still add on to them, but that little bit of them, it feels nice. It gives them a lot of like extra bits to them, which I thought was cute.
Oh, that's really fun.
And there's like this one game too that I'm thinking about. That I feel like it was super innovative. There it kind of made like a big splash, but like, have you heard of like the Sucker for Love dating sims?
I haven't.
Okay, so in the Cliff Notes versions of it is like the the first one was like a dating sim where like you played as like this dude and he summoned um like this monster from like another dimension. I think it was supposed to be like based off of like Cthulhu or something, like some kind of tentacle monster type thing. I forgot. The name escapes me right now. And then she comes out like she's cute and stuff like that. You know, she's like this tentacle monster girl or something, and she's like, "Oh my god, like you summoned me to destroy the world, hooray!" And then he's like, "No, I summoned you because I want to date you," and she's like, "What?" So,
Hello.
and it's to
I'm sorry not to interrupt you, but that just reminds me of like in middle school when people would just like make the anime boy like edits of like fucking like Jeff the Killer and stuff.
oh my god.
But continue.
Okay, but here's the thing. I did not play that one too much because I did not care too much for the main love interest. I know they added like some DLC ones. Maybe I'll go back to the game. But I have played the second one, which is called A Sucker for Love, A Date to Die For. I actually really like that one. So the main character, she's black, by the way. Woohoo, Black History Month. But also on top of that, there the monster lady is like this type of like goat lady, I believe. Why do I forget the name of like every single like monster type deity thingy? But she's like this goat type of deity, I believe, and has to do with like fertility and then life and things like that. And then basically the MC, she's like, I'm gonna go back to my hometown because I can't find my family and they've been missing for so long. And also like everyone says that like my hometown is like going through terrible things right now. And so uh the gameplay itself, as you kind of get into that, you get back to your hometown, and then you find out like this place is overrun by cultists, and there's like this weird alternate dimension thing going on, and all this crazy junk.
Oh.
Yes, and then you end up summoning like this type of like deity, and then she's like, hey, like people are like using my power to like kill people, and to be honest, my power is not supposed to be used that way or whatever, so like I'll help you get rid of the cultists and stuff like that because I kind of feel bad anyway. And I don't know, there was like a very big part of it where um the actual gameplay itself is like it has like moving around the map type of thing. You know how you remember in like some of those old dating sims where like you would have the energy to like walk around and then you'd run out of energy, so then you'd have to like go home for the day or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it had a similar thing, but of course they didn't have the energy or else I would have killed myself probably. But you were running around this house and stuff like that to try to find out what's going on with the cultists, to gather items and things like that, to basically read things from like a spell book. And you would do a lot of like gathering, talking to people, and then they they end up introducing this thing that which I thought was crazy, where after a while they would put like a type of character in the house that would be chasing you as you do things.
Nah, bro.
Yes, I felt like I was playing Resident Evil and this is a dating sim. Like,
Like, nah, bro. Like, what happened to like me just talking to, to like my boyfriend? Like, I would have to be like, I did not sign up for this horror game.
yes,
Like,
it was very much a horror game for me because like I'm living here and like I'm talking to my goat girlfriend, and then out of a sudden I see this cultist in a mask, like the just like shredded, ripped type of lady with a metal bat trying to kill me, and I'm sitting here like.
uh-uh.
And the thing is like as you're walking around trying to look for things to go like perform like a ritual or something, you would hear the sound of the bat hitting against the walls because it's getting
Nah,
close. I
nah.
I dreaded that sound. The sound design of that game was also crazy. Like I think that game genuinely it blew me away because I never played no dating sim like that.
I play dating sims to kiss hot men, bro. I don't play for that.
Um
That's like a whole other thing.
yes, yes, I was romancing my goat girlfriend in that game, but the way that I'm I'm actually scared for my life. Like I heard the sound of like the metal bat like hitting against the wall because or like she's dragging it across the floor and I hear it getting louder. I was scared. I was so scared. That game was crazy. Wow.
Yeah.
Dating Sims.
No, but I think that's like a really like cool example of kind of like the direction um gaming is going when it comes to like those type of like dating sim mechanics, because not only do you have dating sims and like visual novels trying to like explore kind of like outside the genre with other stuff they can do. Like, there's a lot of dating sims or visual novels now where they just include like a bunch of mini games in them, or like they just have like different like cool mechanics like that. But then vice versa, there's a lot of like RPGs or like other like types of games that include kind of like dating like romance route that you can go on. Like I'm thinking like kind of stuff like, with like Persona, and then also like, something maybe like much more recent like Baldur's Gate 3, or Baldur's Gate in general. Like you like they're borrowing those mechanics from like dating sims, and like it's very much how they play with like the whole like like builds up your affinity with this character that you want to date. um like it's just very interesting.
Also, like I also want to add on to that I think a majority of people love a good dating sim mechanic in a game. Like this is why that like
Mhm.
it's growing super popular in like RPGs as well. Like you got Mass Effect, you got Dragon Age, like you said, Baldur's Gate, and also like other games such as like Cyberpunk and so many games sit there with like relationship mechanics, Fire Emblem, like dating sim mechanics say Fire Emblem. That's common knowledge that like when
Mhm.
Fire Emblem Awakening came out on the 3DS and then they gave like that whole little dating sim stuff, like that saved the franchise, you know. Yeah, like cuz like Fire Emblem was on death's door. Like but
No, yeah.
mhm.
Cause it's just like, like, cause I get it. Maybe some people don't want to play it as like the main genre. Like it's but like it's kind of like like TV. Like, some people don't like romance movies that just focus on romance, but like give them like an action movie with a romance subplot and they will eat that up.
Exactly. Like also like you sit there and you'll say like, okay, what is like the best like romance or something like that, and people will show you something that's not even like a romance centric story because like
Mhm.
a good romance plot and a story will really help with emotional connection with it. People love to see a good romance a lot of the time. And I feel
Mhm.
not enough people are admitting that. Like like
No, yeah. Cuz that's the whole thing about it too, is because like when we look back on like Otome Games, mostly meant for like a female audience. It was very like female centric. Because they're like, yeah, like only girls like that game. Um, because that's all they want to play. But no, like you see like with us like kind of like leaving the name like Otome behind and kind of venturing more out into dating sims. No, it's for a wider audience, and like, I know plenty of guys that play Baldur's Gate and they love a good Shadow Heart romance. Like, are you kidding? Like they want those
yeah.
mechanics too.
Mhm. Or like literally I have our a mutual friend of ours and things like that. Like he'll eat up a romance story and things like that even if it's like it has like a female protagonist or something like that because the story's good. Like
Like that's what it comes down to, is just like really good writing. Like if you are a fan of like RPGs and specifically you like the narrative, you like the story, like just like play visual novels, cuz not like also like never mind dating sims, but like visual novels, like people tend to kind of like just use those terms synonymously, like it, but like like there are visual novels that aren't surrounded by romance too. Like it's its own thing as well.
Yeah, and also I feel like a lot of them too, the gameplay like labels and genres that we put on it, they're pretty I feel like they get muddled up so easy. Like I can like I've talked up like even like the game that I mentioned that I wouldn't name the name of, I feel like it's a little bit more of like point and click, but at the same time, so many point and clicks you could just call them visual novels too, but they have like a lot of
Mm-hmm.
like that interactive aspect or something like that. Like now, the way that people are designing games and we're adding special things to it. Sometimes dating sims, they are not visual novels, you know? Like Baldur's Gate 3 is
Yeah.
not a visual novel. I mean, and or you sit there and be like, we can't call the whole thing a dating sim, but like low key,
I sure play it like one. Like
yeah,
that's how I play D&D too, guys. I'm always asking if the NPC is hot. Like
exactly. Like, I sure play it like one. Like, honestly, um, kid me when I picked up Fire Emblem when I was out there at my wedding with Crom. That sure enough, that was a dating sim for me. When we had our little wedding and we gave birth to our daughter, like, yeah,
I'm
like,
not even gonna lie. Like even when I was, bro, Game Freak, hear me out. If you add like little romance routes in Pokemon, like, dude, you will make so much more money. Cause you know what Kid Me was doing? I'd be playing like Pokemon Rangers or something, and I'm over here. I'm writing this romance subplot in my head, bro. I didn't even need them to put it in the game for me. Like it's just stuff like that where like you get because there's some games too where they like I mean Pokemon does this a lot where they hint at like the relationship between characters but they don't even give you like a chance to like foster them because again like not even just as like a romance thing like even just having that as like a platonic thing because there are some games like Final Fantasy for example Final Fantasy 7 in particular just
a
fostering
remake,
your
the
yeah
remake.
just
Don't
fostering
get the
being able
mad.
to okay the remake guys sorry Final Fantasy 7 remake
Don't get the mad.
um just being able to like I mean there's romance in that story too but being able to foster the relationship too between the other party members as well was a big thing for me because also in particular with the remake guys there's gonna be a Final Fantasy 7 remake
Like,
episode don't worry
girl, don't even get
um
too much into it. We gonna have a whole like hour to talk about that next time.
no yeah but like just like being able because like they built on the character of Barrett a lot in the remake but just being able to like see with your own eyes how you're fostering that relationship with him even though it's not like a romantic one they should do that in more games too RPGs specifically I think I would
Yeah.
very much enjoy that.
It's like you kind of see that in the Persona games. I know you haven't really played them and stuff. They do that a lot in those. And then um that one game that just came out from Atlas too. Um, I think it's called Metaphor Refantasio. They don't have romance in there, but they do have relationship mechanic. And then there's also other stuff like Marvel's Midnight Suns, where that's the game where you make a character and then you be chilling with I don't know Iron Man or whatever. I
Mm-hmm.
think you should have dated them, but that's just me. That's just me. I guess Disney didn't want them to kiss Iron Man or whatever. Well, I didn't want him, but whatever, whatever, whatever.
No but like it's really just like because I think that's one of the things with video games in general. Every time I play a game, it's either, you know, I mean, this is the same with all stories. It's either very much plot driven or it's character driven. And I think there's a lot of video games that I've played in particular where like the characters are just so like good and I just eat up every interaction that the player character has with them. So being able to like see that relationship like develop on screen, I think is something that more developers should look into, especially if they have like a story-based game already. Um like I just think that's smart.
Like I gravitate more towards character driven stories as well. Like even
Mhm.
in any medium when it comes to movies, it comes to games, it comes to comics or whatever, that's just my favorite. But if a game has great characters, trust me, that people latch onto those, like, and
Yeah.
that's why, uh, to kind of like throw it all together too, is like all these dating sims and stuff like that. It's because people love those characters. That's why people love these games. Like,
Yeah, exactly. Like, like they just like attach themselves, like especially in like games that have like multiple love interests and stuff like that. You know, you don't have to play every single one of them, but if there's that one, like every single route, I mean, but if there's that one love interest that you are absolutely obsessed with, it keeps you around.
oh yeah, I mean, I've seen it happen.
It's
Looking
happened
at
to
you,
me.
looking at you. um
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of times when I play dating sims, I tend to play the field a little bit. I like to like to look at the other routes, but I always do have my favorites. But I
Exactly.
know how you play a lot of times. You have your favorite. You will play that 3 times to the point you can recite the scene.
Dude, don't do me like that.
My bad. My bad.
Hey, I try really hard to play the field, but once I have a favorite, I just lock in.
Yeah, it's okay though. We're all different.
Hey,
Um,
hey,
I got my favorites though. It's just that, like, I try to play the field to see what's going on, and
you're just
like,
not loyal like I am.
no, I am, I promise, but like, I have to see what's going on. Like, okay, one I will kind of drop real quick is like boyfriend dungeon. You can like romance anyone, and without like any type of penalty or things like that. It's completely fine. It's a really fun dating sim, and also it's like a roguelite type of thing. I definitely play the field. I have romanced everyone. I've kissed every character in a playthrough.
You see, guys, like she's not loyal like I am.
No, cause like I still have my favorite, like, Isaac. That is my
Your
man.
favorite, but not your one and only. It
Yes.
made me sick to my stomach trying to play other Mystic Messenger. If they weren't 707, I didn't want them.
Okay, okay, but still, it is what it is. But
But yeah, I think that other game I mean, like, this is gonna be my hot take for the episode, is that I think there are a lot of games out there who they get so caught up in the actual mechanic of the game, which is important, um in that game design, that they don't necessarily focus too much on the narrative design, and that's where they fall short. And
interesting.
that's why I think they could learn a lot from like dating sims that actually do kind of, like, they're mostly story based. They are very much story based. But yeah, I think they can learn a lot from each other.
Like, honestly, I think it's really fun, like, in just character studies in general, dating sim. Just see how they get those players to be so invested in that game. They stick around for, that storyline with these characters, honestly. Like, genuinely, there's a reason why visual novels have been in the game for so long, because
Mm-hmm.
their strongest thing is story, and they find a way how to get players to clutch onto it because story is their main weapon.
Hey, I'm just saying, there's a reason why Love in Deep Space is doing so well.
Let me stop.
And it's not just the Gooder allegations, I promise.
I'm on the soapbox right now, okay?
I'm sorry, I just had to say it. I just had to, guys, there will be 11 Team Space episode. Trust me on that one. But
Like, we got to talk about gotcha games because that's a whole other
Brittany has a
beast.
problem.
Leave me alone. We're not going to talk about me. Uh,
We
uh,
will in that episode, though, so stay tuned.
yeah, but this episode did kind of run a little bit longer because I feel like this is such a fun conversation, and I don't know, like, visual novels, dating sims, they've went so far right now. Like, come on, man.
Hmm.
Like, I'm getting chased by like a cultist with a bat as I go and kiss my goat monster girlfriend, y'all. Like, this is the future.
This is the future of gaming, guys.
Yeah. But we'll catch you guys next time on Gamers That Yap. You want to take it away since yesterday, not yesterday, but the last time I did.
Yesterday is crazy.
Yeah,
Whoa, concept
wow,
of time.
wow.
Wow, it seems
Y-
like just yesterday we recorded our first episode.
For
Um,
sure.
yeah, I don't really have that much left to say. I'm probably gonna I don't know, I got work tomorrow.
Um, well,
That's it, I
I
guess.
also got work tomorrow, so
We should probably go to bed for work then.
yeah. Well, see you guys next time on Gamers That Yap. Bye.
Bye.